Lumaki ako sa Marikina, so doon ako nakakuha ng inspiration, uh, drawing kasi kadalasan wala akong ginagawa sa bahay. So, mahilig ako mag-drawing ng robots, mga yung uso na ng mga cartoons, Transformers, Robocop, uh, mga Legionaries. So, kumukuha lang ako ng copy sa mga comics, minsan sa mga newspapers, tapos doon kinokopya ko. Minsan sa TV. Yan. And then, nung high school, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang drawing, pero walang formal training at all. Nakakuha lang ako ng guide talaga nung college na. And then, doon ako nag-explore ng iba-ibang materials, iba-ibang media to create an artwork. I think art reflects culture. Also, culture reflects art. Sa kaso ng dito sa Pilipinas, ang ganda, napaka-diverse ng ating kultura. Napaka-diverse ng ating mga prinsipyo, ng mga philosophy. So, nakakagawa tayo ng iba't ibang klaseng artworks that can produce dialogue and expression to the viewers, and it gives us an overview of what culture is at present and what culture was in the past. So, napaka napakalawak din ng pinagdaanan ng Philippine art dahil sa impluensya ng iba't ibang elements ng tao, ng panahon, ng events. Okay. So, yun. Gumawa kami ng maliit na show, sticker show wherein we invited different artists um, or different artists who are interested in doing street art. And I think that was their moment as well. They realized na okay to, um, putting art in the streets. And then, naging successful yung show. Um, there were also international artists from other countries who participated. So they sent their stickers to us so we can post them together with our stickers in the exhibit. So ang ganda ng kinalabasan. And then from there, na-grow na yung group in terms of art production because after stickers, nagka-introduction na in aerosol, in the use of aerosol cans, so naging graffiti. And then lumaki. After that, ang daming groups na lumabas, also patronizing street art and graffiti that made the culture of art really seen in the streets. And it's amazing how people react um, in that movement. Kasi may negative, may positive, and I think that yun ang art din eh. How people arrive to different interpretations of art production and expression. Hindi ko kaya i-describe yung work ko as Filipino art. I think iba rin ang interpretation ng ibang tao if they look at my work and consider it a Filipino art. Actually, in my point of view, mahirap i-define kung ano ang Filipino art. Kasi the fact that na we were colonized by numerous countries, influences nandun din, pati sa art nandun din. Um, Marami tayong works na nakikita, prominent works of artists that inspired by the Spanish era, Chinese, Japanese art, American, Western art. And in terms of technique, I think dahil doon din natin nakukuha yung sariling style ng Philippines. So mahirap, para sa akin nahihirapan ako i-identify ko anong Philippine art um, because of the diversity of cultures, which is, I think it's something good for for our identity, which makes it very colorful. Uh, Diverse cultures, diverse artworks, mainly. Uh, so my art is something very urban, very, it describes the grittiness of urban Manila. And you can also see that in other places, other developed areas, not just in the Philippines. So I don't think I don't think na it describes Filipino art, yung artworks ko. At times, hindi mo talaga mapipigilan that an institution dictates what art is and what is not. Um, sa previous schools na tinuruan ko, it's heavy, really heavy on teaching the skill, the proper technique in handling a media. And minsan, it compromises the creativity of the student or how student respond to the material. It kind of limits their expression. And not being biased, pero knowing the IB program in visual art, mas nagustuhan ko yung way of or the method of implementing teaching sa mga bata. Kasi they get they get to understand the concept, but how they interpret or express the artworks is really according to their competency. I think mas maganda kung ganun na rin yung mga schools. Um, Merong, kunwari meron kayong lesson about texture, pero may isang bata na nagda-divert doon sa lesson. Ang sarap tanong sa kanya, bakit doon ka patungo? Bakit naisipan mo mas ma-achieve mo ang expression mo or ma-achieve mo yung concept pag ginamit natin yung approach mo? So, nagkakaroon kayo ng dialogue. Nagkakaroon ng realization na reflection. And there's always different ways to reach a point. So, learning this kind of method of teaching, pati ako natutong paano magturo ng visual arts sa mga estudyante ko.